If you're looking to increase calories without gaining weight, well, I mean, I certainly can't blame you. Who doesn't want to be able to eat more food? And if you can keep weight gain at bay, then huge added bonus. And if you're someone who is used to my channel, you probably think this is all about reverse dieting, and I will certainly be talking about reverse dieting, that's part of it, but there's some other strategies you can take beyond that to get your calories up and at least minimize the chance of extra fat gain. So we might as well start with the reverse dieting side of things. And if you're new here and not sure what reverse dieting is, it's basically a process where you gradually increase calories over time. And the reason you would do this is if you're coming from a long history of dieting, or you just stopped the dieting phase and your metabolism is now suppressed because of what you've put your body through. So if you've never dieted in your life and you're in a good place, then this part of the process wouldn't be relevant to you, because the point of reverse dieting isn't to get you beyond your normal genetic baseline metabolism. The point is to undo the suppression from your history of dieting to bring it back to what your genetic potential should be. So if you've recently finished a dieting phase, or you have a long history of extreme dieting, yo-yo dieting, and you just feel like your metabolism's in a bad place, you can't eat very much food, and when you do try to, you tend to gain more weight, then what I'm going to walk you through here should be very helpful. Now in this video, I'm not going to explain why your metabolism's suppressed and what happens to your body and your hormones and everything else. I have so many videos that cover this. And if you're interested and haven't seen them, I do have a playlist on my channel that's titled Reverse Dieting to Improve Metabolism. Those videos will be very helpful, and the first one will explain in good detail as to what happens. But for the sake of this video, you want to be able to get your calories up and avoid weight gain. I get it. So what you want to do is make sure you take this process slowly. The slower you increase calories, the less likely you are to gain weight, but also keep in mind it's going to take longer to get your calories up, to get all the other benefits like feel better, perform better, enjoy more food, etc. And the faster you increase calories, the more likely you are to gain weight. So since you're looking to avoid fat gain as much as possible, when you're making your increases, you want to do it based on how things are going. So make sure you're weighing yourself every day and taking an average for the week and using that as your gauge to compare week by week. Don't take singular days. Your weight fluctuates way too much because of water weight on a daily basis to get wrapped up on any singular day. All those fluctuations you see, it's all things like sodium and stress and sleep and training inflammation and how much food is still digesting and being sore from your training. Like there's hormones and so many different things that cause your weight to fluctuate daily. It's not body fat. So by weighing yourself first thing in the morning after going to the bathroom and before eating or drinking anything, as well as nude, this is going to be the most consistent time of the day. And then you jot that down each day, take an average for the week. You use that now to compare week by week. You are not looking at singular days. Please don't do this. You will go crazy if you try to place correlation on it. Just avoid that altogether. Only look at averages. Now, hopefully you know how many calories you're currently eating. That will make this process much easier. If you don't, that's okay. What you're going to do is take the next week, continue to eat the same way you've been eating, and do just like with the weight, you take an average for the week now and see what that looks like. And that's going to give you a rough estimation of what your current calories are, and then you'll make some increases from there. So what you want to do is, if you're losing weight, you can make a bit bigger of an increase. If you're maintaining weight, you can make a smaller increase. If you're gaining weight, then you want to be more cautious and probably hold steady for a while. So what I recommend here, if you're looking to not gain any weight, is you got to be, first of all, pretty dang strict with your diet. Like, you not in terms of like what types of foods to eat, just making sure you're being diligent with your numbers, because the more diligent you are with the process, the more you're measuring foods and everything else, the more detailed you can be, the more likely you are to be accurate and be able to avoid weight gain. Is it more restrictive? Absolutely. But the more extreme your goal is, the more extreme your measures have to be, and make no mistake about it. Looking to increase calories and not gain any weight is an extreme goal, so if it's that important to you, that's fine. You don't want to place all your self-worth on weight and body image and things like that. We'll touch more on that later, but these are the steps you want to take. So if you take your weekly weight, compare it to the last week, and you're around the same weight, then I would consider that maintenance. We're taking away the fluctuations, and then you can make smaller changes, maybe 20 to 40 calories of an increase, and then eat that for the next week, and then you just kind of repeat that process. Now, if you're losing weight, especially a lot, you can make faster increases depending on what's most important to you. Maybe you're gonna do 40 to 60. If you're losing a lot, maybe you do like 60 to 100 or even more. There's no right or wrong answers here. You can handle it how you want. Now, hearing that, you may think like, well, if I'm only increasing 20 calories, that's like literally nothing. And it pretty much is almost nothing. But the thing of it is, small changes add up to larger changes over a long period of time. So especially if you're in no rush here, especially if you're not planning on dieting anytime soon again and you're just trying to look to get your calories back up to kind of roughly maintain but be more flexible. It's a great way to do things because your body's never going to notice an additional 20 calories. Make sure you understand when I say this. Let's say, for instance, you're eating 1,500 calories, now you're eating 1,520 calories. That's your average daily intake every day for the week. You don't have to eat the same every single day. You can take an average and have ups and downs, but you're not increasing 20 calories every single day. It's the same every day for that week. And then if you say for the next 10 weeks, you're increasing 20 calories each week, may seem like nothing in the short term, now all of a sudden you're up 200 calories. I'm not saying this is the right approach for everybody, and I'm not saying you have to go this slow, but this is a strategy you can use to do everything you can to keep from gaining weight. Now, on top of that, even if you don't have a history of dieting and your metabolism isn't suppressed, there is a caveat to that in terms of being able to get past your genetic potential, and that is if you add additional lean body mass. That's how you improve your actual metabolism, is by building muscle and getting that training stimulus, and that's something you really want to be doing here, especially if you're looking to avoid fat gain. And this is an important note to make. There's a huge difference between weight gain and fat gain, so you don't want to get too caught up in the weight. Make sure you're taking pictures from the front, from the side, from the back. Pay attention to how your clothes are fitting, taking measurements, especially around your waist. That's the big one, because all the other areas like your arms and your thighs and stuff have muscle and fat. Around your belly button, around the waist, that's pretty much all body fat. So just because you may see the scale kind of coming up a little bit doesn't mean you're necessarily gaining fat, and you need to make sure you're making that distinction. And by adding a training stimulus, if you're not doing that currently, that's gonna help you get your calories up significantly, as well as build that lean body mass to improve your metabolism, which will also help get your calories up. And on top of that, you're actually burning more calories while you're in the gym. And just the training stimulus is so powerful and so underrated. So make sure you're sticking to a good strength training routine basically all the time. Whether you're reverse dieting, whether you're cutting, it's too important not to do. And this goes like quadruple if you're trying to get your calories up and avoid fat gain. Another strategy you can take to increase your calories and help avoid fat gain is to increase calories through protein. Protein has such a high thermic effect of food. It has so many processes to go through in the body that it's extremely difficult. Like, I'm not gonna say impossible, but it seems like it's damn near impossible to actually store protein as body fat. And I even did a video recently showing you a couple different studies, so I won't take a lot of time on this, that showed people who ate more protein, even though they ate more calories, they didn't gain more fat. There was one where one group ate double the amount of protein as the other, ended up eating on average 800 calories more per day and didn't gain any more additional body fat. And there was another study where they had a group eat more protein and actually more calories than a group that ate less protein and less calories, and the group with more protein and more calories actually lost more body fat than the group that ate less. Protein, especially in combination with strength training, is so powerful and so helpful for body composition. Make sure you're taking this seriously. I recommend around 1 gram per pound. If you're a bit more overweight, you can always go with lean body mass or a goal weight or something like that. The point is, get that protein up and it will be super helpful. Then there's a couple other smaller things that may not seem like it would make a big difference, but can be more helpful than you think, and that's controlling your stress, making sure you're getting adequate sleep. These things can make a big difference, not only because it has an impact on your hormones, but also how you're feeling, your energy levels. If you're recovering well, you're gonna be able to perform better. You're gonna be able to see better progress in the gym, which only helps things even more. So making sure you're staying on top of those can be helpful as well. And then, as I mentioned, do not, please do not get caught up in I can't gain any weight. All right, I'm giving you some strategies that may help you avoid weight gain, or at least fat gain in general, but I'm not making any promises here. I'm just telling you what will give you the best chance possible. But I think it's personally super important to be okay with a little bit of weight gain, not putting so much pressure on what you look like, how much you weigh. Understand that it's not what makes you who you are as a person. In the grand scheme of things, while health is important, typically we get so worried about what everyone else thinks, and the truth is nobody else cares because they're all too worried about themselves. And people just spend their whole life being miserable, absolutely miserable, because they're so terrified of ever gaining any weight that they just can't even enjoy good progress even if they make it because of it. So Creating a healthy relationship with your body and your body image is critical, and putting too much emphasis on not being okay with gaining any weight is going to do more harm than good. So give yourself some buffer. Use these strategies to help, but don't freak out and go crazy if you're gaining a little bit of weight, and focus more on things like having more balance and flexibility in your life and be able to enjoy food with friends and family. And there's more to life than just fitness. I'm a coach. I love fitness stuff. It's a big part of my life, but it's not everything, not even close. And it actually becomes a bit less and less as I get older and older, because as I do get older, I realize how little it really matters in the grand scheme of things. Take care of your health, but don't let this stuff be your everything. Now, with regards to gaining weight from reverse dieting, this is a common concern for people. And one of the most common questions I get is, well, how much weight am I going to gain if I do reverse diet? Well, like I said, in this video, you can do a lot of things to help minimize it. You should expect some, most likely. So if you're interested, I do have this video up top that talks about how much weight you should expect to gain during the process. Otherwise, I think you'll like this bottom video instead. And I'll see you next time.